He wrote Time in a Bottle after learning he was going to be a father. A year later, he was gone. Jim Croce spent much of the 60s trying to make it in the music industry, with little success.
I've spent about 10, 11 years playing in bars, fraternity parties, doing rock and roll, country and western, bluegrass.
He performed while working jobs as a construction laborer, truck driver, and even a telephone pole climber to support himself and his wife Ingrid.
Sitting up there in the truck cab with just an 8-track playing, listening to a lot of music. You can get kind of lonely, you can get a lot of laughs. It's I don't know, I always enjoy doing it. It's kind of a good way to live.
By the early 70s, burned out and nearly broke, they returned to rural Pennsylvania. Jim took odd jobs and wrote songs inspired by the people he met and the work he did. In 1971, something changed. Ingrid became pregnant.
And I told Jim, and Jim had this look of kind of utter fear and excitement because he knew that if we were going to have a child, he needed to become a professional musician. And that night, he sat down at the kitchen table and he started to write Time in a Bottle.
A lullaby-like song full of longing, written not after his son was born, but while he was still just a hope for the future. With a family on the way, Croce redoubled his efforts to make music his profession. Their son, A.J. Croce, was born in September 1971.
Do you have memories of your dad?
I have this memory of the warmth of embrace, and while it's not visual for me, it's palpable.
And powerful, nonetheless.
Very, very.
In 1972, Croce landed a record deal with ABC Records. His debut album with them, You Don't Mess Around with Jim, featured songs like Operator, Time in a Bottle, and the title track, and began receiving national airplay.
Next guest is one of those overnight successes who only took 12 years to make it. But during that time, when he wasn't driving a truck, he was teaching special education and entertaining the bar and beer pitcher set. I guess you could say he's a man of the people. Maybe that's why he writes about them so well. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Croce.
After nearly a decade of setbacks, Jim Croce was suddenly a household name. But he was also growing tired of the road. In letters to Ingrid, he talked about giving up touring to be home with her and AJ.
It reads, "Dear Ing, I know I haven't been very nice to you for some time. And when I get back, everything will be different. We're going to have a life together, Ing, I promise. I'm going to concentrate on my health. I'm going to become a public hermit. I'm going to get my master's degree. I'm going to write short stories and movie scripts. Who knows, I might even get a tan. Give a kiss to my little man and tell him Daddy loves him. Remember, it's the first 60 years that count. And I've got 30 to go. I love you, Jim."
On September 20th, 1973, just hours after performing at a college in Louisiana, Croce's small chartered plane crashed on takeoff.
My stepmom called and said, are you awake? And I went, "No, but I've been having this terrible dream that I was trying to reach Jim and I couldn't get him." And she said, "There was a plane crash." And I said, "And Jim's dead, right?" And she said, "Yes."
Jim Croce never got to see his son grow up, never got to feel the full weight of the legacy he left behind. But in just a few short years, he gave the world timeless music and reminded us that the moments we have are the ones that matter most.